Good morning, everybody. It's actually 11:23, but it would have been 12:23 a couple of days ago. November 8th, on Monday, the start of a new week. First of all, I want to thank everybody who came out to the three Los Angeles gigs that the immediate family played. The Coach House was great. It was completely sold out. The owner is thrilled and wants us back. The Libero was thrilled. We sold out the Libero, and they're talking about us coming back. And the Canyon Club totally went. The guy went nuts, and he's got other venues, so he wants to book us into all of them. And we've been contacted by the Iridium in New York, and they want us to come back there. So things are just starting to get moving here. We got a busy week of taking care of things before we head to the East Coast on Friday to start our like 10-day run back there. But it was just great to see everybody's clubhouse members that were there last night. It was great. Walter was there, and Rick, and Gina, and Toby, and Rock and Roll Woman, and just so many of the really cool people, and saw lots of friends there. It was a real wonderful evening. It's so nice to be able to share music with my brothers on stage and with an audience. It's pretty amazing. The only scary part of the whole evening was driving home from Agoura on the freeway. I saw four really horrible drunk drivers swerving all over. And two of them were in semis, and boy, they were drifting lanes all over. Almost got sideswiped by one. In one car, I was just keeping my distance, hoping nobody would get nailed by this guy, but he kept putting his brakes on, and he'd go over, almost hit the center divide. It's drivers have gotten, during the course of the pandemic, I think I've seen probably the worst drivers in LA in my entire history of being here. People driving on the freeway, never using turn signals, zigzagging in and out, going, easily 90, 100, 110 miles an hour, just endangering everybody around them. So I was glad, as soon as I got to my driveway, I went, I am done for this. Unloaded and packed out my gear and the few books that I still had remaining, and tried to get a little bit of rest. It's pretty hard to do that after you really kind of buzzed and cranked. Musically today, one of the people who came to the show last night, who I was so thrilled to see, was the wonderful Rosemary Butler. I've been working with Rose for decades upon decades, and we did an album called You Just Watch Me back in 2013, and she brought me a copy of it last night because I didn't have a copy of it. But a little info on her. I made myself a few little notes, but I know so much about her. She started as a singer-bassist. She's a good bass player in a group called the Ladybirds. And they even ended up opening for the Rolling Stones in 1964. After she left the Ladybirds, she joined an all-female rock band called Bertha, where she sang and played bass also. And they split up in 75, but she's really, at this point, focused on, she's probably one of the most in-demand background singers coming out of the Los Angeles music scene. I've toured with her with James Taylor. It was, her and Arnold McCullers for ages together. She was on, did work with Jackson Browne. She was on the Running on Empty tour. She's worked with Bonnie Raitt. I mean, you kind of name it. And Rosemary's been involved, and she has such a signature, powerful voice, and it's amazing at this point. I mean, I've known her for 5 decades, and her voice is as strong as ever. I mean, she's amazing. She does vocal instruction. She's a teacher. She ends up doing contracting for choirs. She's a real force of nature, and one of the really good characters to be on the road with. Every day with Rose is a total adventure. So I wanted to play a few tracks from the album I did with her. I wanted to feature her today after seeing her last night and getting the copy of the album. I could get some album credits on here and everything. So I'll be reading off of the goddamn tiny print that everything comes on now. I miss albums where you could actually just sit and read a thing, and now it's almost like you need a microfilm reader. At least on this stuff, it's like a dark blue against kind of a beige gray background. What I hate is when they do like red lettering on a brown background, and you may as well just take a spoon and dig your eyes out at that point. It's so hopeless. But the first one I'm going to play for you is the title track. It's called "You Just Watch Me." I'm trying to read this. It was written by, it looks like, Rick Giles and Bob Reagan, I think so. But it's Rose on lead vocals and background vocals, David Lindley on lap steel, George Friedenthal on piano, Maitland Ward on guitar and background vocals, Mike Finnegan on Hammond organ, Mike Stern on guitar, myself on bass, and Russ Kunkel on drums. So here we go. Let me just get this going. You Just Watch Me is the title track.
Just watch me, baby. One of these breathless nights, I'm gonna steal your heart and make you mine. Now you're gonna say you want me and beg me to never leave. Well, if you don't think it's so, just watch me. Just watch me.
Boy, Lindley.
Just watch me, babe. I'm the moon above. The winds of love everywhere. But when you see me coming, ain't no use in running. I'll be the dream that haunts you. And when the dark is upon you, I'll be the only light you see. You just watch me.
I love hearing Lindley. I haven't played with David in so long. I miss him, and hearing Mike Finnegan, who just passed away recently, is one of the great B3 players of all time, and one of the baddest singers around. So it's nice revisiting the guys here. Here's one called New Mexico Cadillac by Wendy Waldman and Reed Nielsen on this, and it's Rose on lead and background vocals, Lindley on Hawaiian guitar, Maitland Ward on guitar and background vocals, Finnegan on B3, Mike Stern on guitar, myself, and Russ Kunkel. So here we go, New Mexico Cadillac. Yeah.
My sweater and clothes, I always thought I knew just how my life would go. Till the day I saw the place from New Mexico. It had bright red flames painted down the side, and the sign read, "God bless this ride." The bluest stars I'd ever seen looking out at me into my dreams. Well, there's a real mirror, but you can't look back in that New Mexico Cadillac. It had the two exhausts. Yeah, it sounded like singing every time it talks. It's only everything, baby, that you'll ever need. There is only in the driver's seat. Yeah, the highway it runs from here to forever. Smooth as silk, soft as leather. Nobody ever moved me like that. We went from 0 to 60 in 8 seconds flat. Well, there's no reverse and no going back in that New Mexico Cadillac. Ooh, Cadillac.
We recorded the tracks at Stagg Street Studios, which I worked at on a number of projects. It's a really nice room out in the North Hollywood area, and it was they're very hospitable folks there, and it made for a really nice environment to record in. Let's see, what do we got here? Number 4. I Want You to Think of Me. I think this was one by David Morgan and Kenny Hirsch, and it's Rosemary Butler on lead and background vocals, Arnold McCullers singing harmony with her, David Lindley on acoustic lead guitar, George Friedenthal on piano, Maitland Ward on acoustic guitar and background vocals, Finnegan on B3, Mike Stern on guitar and tambourine, and myself and Russ Kunkel. So that one is I Want You to Think of Me. Here we go.
When there's trouble all around you and it never seems to end, when there's nothing to hold on to and your fears are closing in, when you're falling through the darkness to a place you've never been, and there isn't any light that you can see, I want you to think of me. When the world around you changes all the plans that you have made, you can't face another day because you're so afraid. When your heart begins to falter and your hope begins to fade, and you become your own worst enemy, I want you to think of me. I want you to remember when your back is to the wall, as long as there is breath in it, I'll answer when you call. And if I can make it better, I can share the pain with you. That's not what friends are for, my friend. That's just what they do. There ain't nothing strange about it. That's just how we play the game. Here to help each other. Ain't no cause to be ashamed. And you can turn to me, 'cause you know I do the same. And when you're hurting, you know where I'll be. I want you to think of me. I want you to call me. I want you to think of me. Think of me,
Somebody's always got to get in the last note. Okay, one more. Here we go. This is called Travel My Love, and this is by Marcus Hammond and Roger Murrah, it looks like, and it's Rose again on lead and background vocals, Jackson Brown on background vocals, Doug Haywood on background vocals. Rosemary and Doug were the background singers on Running on Empty with Jackson. This family sticks together. David Lindley on mandolin, George Friedenthal on piano, Maitland Ward on guitar, solo lead acoustic guitar, background vocals, Finnegan on B3, Michael Stern on high string guitar and mandolin and the background vocal and background vocals, and then myself and Russ Kunkel. Russ is playing drums, congas, shakers, everything. So here we go, and let me get that one. This is called Travel My Love.
Travel, my love, but don't go too far. You are a restless soul. I saw you staring down that open road, just like a rolling river. Who in the world knows where you will finally go? Godspeed, but carry one thought from me. Travel, my love, but don't go too far. Stay within reach. Let the breath of my voice blow in your sails. Let it be your northern star. Travel, my love, but don't go too far. You've got some dreams to dream. I won't stand in your way for anything. Come on, you prodigal son, just come back when the day is done. Godspeed, but carry one thought from me. Travel, my love, but don't go too far. Stay within reach. Let the breath of my voice blow in your sails. Let me be your northern star. Travel, my love, but don't go too far. Too far. Travel, my love, but don't go too far. Stay within reach. Let the breath of my voice blow in your sails. Let it be your northern star. Travel, my love, but don't go too far. Travel, my love, travel, my love, travel, my love, travel, my love, travel, my love.
Sorry. So that's Rosemary Butler's album, You Just Watch Me. And that's from 2013. And a weird story just came back to me about that project. We were in 3 days recording that. We did the first date, went great. I got up the next morning to head off for the second date, but I was up real early, and it was like maybe talk of rain or something coming, so I decided to go out and clean rain gutters on my house before I went to work. And apparently a really bad spider bit my arm, my forearm, that morning. And when I got to the studio and we started working, it started turning red, and I started to look like Popeye. My arm looked like it had a softball under the skin. And it was so hot and hard to touch. And I finished the session, and I went to the emergency room, and they immediately admitted me into the hospital, started pumping me full of antibiotics, and put me on some kind of IV feed with, I think, antibiotics and some other stuff. And they had put me in a hospital bed, and I'm in there up all night. I mean, just soaking wet, sweating, and this thing was just burning. And morning came around. I still hadn't been to sleep yet, and they said, "We'd like to keep you in a couple more days with this." And I said, "I can't. I'm working on Rosemary Butler's album." And I unplugged everything and left and went to work. And slowly, by the day after that, things all started returning to normal. Whatever got into it was being purged. And I've done that so many times where I've had like injuries and stuff, and I still show up to work. I don't think I've ever not made a session I was booked for. I almost cut a finger off once, and my hand was loaded with stitches, and I didn't want to gross anybody out, so I took all the bandages off in the parking lot and kind of hid my hand and got through the thing, and then went back after the date was over and put the bandages back on my hand and the brace and stuff, and it all healed up fine. But it's, sometimes you're just really stupid. But I finished the project, so that was the good thing about it. And again, it was just a real hoot to see Rose last night and get a chance to say hi and get the album from her and everything. So I'm going to wish everybody a great day. I got piles of stuff to do this week, so I'm going to take care of some more stuff. And again, and more than anything too, in doing a band like we are doing with the immediate family, there's an amazing team of players involved with this, not the musicians, but the back people, management and everything. And I just want to put a shout out to Fred and the team he's put together with David, Fred Crochal and David Helfant and Kirby and just this gang, Bruce Quarto from Quarto Valley Records and Mike Carden, the people that work there, Mikey P, who's been doing our videos, and especially the incredible Lisa Roy, who's just is a force of nature getting things accomplished for us. I just want to thank all of them again, because whatever we're doing, man, would not be happening if it wasn't for their efforts that they're putting into all of this. So thank you guys and gals. You are an amazing bunch of people putting up with these old farts. So I'm going to get going. I am going to thank all of those amazing people that are working every day, weekend, week, in and out, and it just never seems to want to end for them, that are, especially in the healthcare system, that are trying so desperately hard every day to save lives. Thank you so much. So I'm going to get jamming here and take care of some stuff. I'll be back tomorrow with some more music. And until then, just have a great day. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.